Good morning, students. In our previous class, we are seeing about the factors affecting rate of reaction, in which the first factor we had seen about nature of the reactants. In that, we had studied that if the reactants are in gaseous phase, the rate of the reaction will be more. If the reactants are of liquid, the rate of the reaction will be less. Solids, the rate of the reaction will be more or less. So the rate of the reaction decreases as the state changes from gaseous to liquid, liquid to solid. So gaseous reactants will be having more rate of reaction because more collisions will be there between the reactant molecules. Followed by, when it is a solid reactant, then particle size will be taking the lead. Lesser the particle size, more will be the rate of reaction. So small size particles will lead to more rate of reaction. That is to say that the reaction will be having more speed. Then ionic reactions, that is, if the reactants are of ionic, automatically rate of reaction will be more. In the same way, if there is anything with respect to proton transfer, that is H plus ion transfer, then also the rate of the reaction will be more. If there is a bond arrangement and rearrangement concept there, automatically the rate of the reaction decreases. That is to say that the reactions will be slow. If there are substitution reactions, automatically rate of the reaction is also slow there. Then coming to temperature, for every 10 degrees rise in temperature, we said that the rate of the reaction will be doubled. In the same way, concentration, if we are increasing the concentration of the reactants, there also rate of the reaction will be increased. And the catalyst also plays an important role in rate of reaction. That is, a catalyst is a substance which either increases the rate of reaction or decreases the rate of reaction. If it is a positive catalyst, it increases the rate of reaction. If it is a negative catalyst, it decreases the rate of reaction. So these are the factors which affecting the rate of reaction. In today's class, let us see about law of mass action. Law of mass action. This you had studied in your first year chemical equilibrium. In your first year chemical equilibrium, you have studied about this one, and we are going to continue this one. So here, according to law of mass action, rate of the reaction is directly proportional to product of active masses of the reactants. Rate of the reaction is directly proportional to product of active masses of the reactants. Product of active masses of the reactants. Product of active masses of the reactants. So first let us see what is an active mass. In our previous class also we had discussed this one. So active mass is nothing but it is the molar concentration. Molar concentration, which is nothing but molarity. That means rate of the reaction is directly proportional to product of molar concentration of the reactants. Or active mass can also be partial pressure. If the reactants are in gaseous phase, then we are going to consider partial pressures as the active mass. So then rate of the reaction is directly proportional to product of partial pressures of the reactants when the reactants are in gaseous state. So according to law of mass action, rate of the reaction is directly proportional to product of active masses of the reactants. Is it clear? Then let us see a small reaction. Let us consider a reaction. A plus B gives rise to products. A plus B gives rise to products. So here rate, according to law of mass action, rate is directly proportional to product of molar concentrations of A and B, because A and B are the reactants. Product of molar concentrations of the reactants, that is product of concentration of A into concentration of B. Here, since I am taking molar concentrations, I am taking square brackets. If the reactants and reactants are in gaseous state, then automatically rate is directly proportional to partial pressure of A into partial pressure of B. If I am taking partial pressures into consideration, if the reactants are in gaseous state, then I am going to take partial pressures. Now, here I am continuing this one. R is equal to K into concentration of A into concentration of B, where K is called as a rate constant, where K is called as rate constant. Now, let me consider another reaction. X moles of A, or simply 2 moles of A, reacts with 1 mole of B to produce products. I am taking another reaction in which 2 moles of A is reacting with 1 mole of B to produce the products. Now, rate is equal to rate constant into concentration of A into concentration of A. Why it is concentration of A into concentration of A? Because here the stoichiometric coefficient is 2. So concentration of A into concentration of A into concentration of B. That is to say that R is equal to K into concentration of A to the power of 2 into concentration of B. Here you can see that the stoichiometric coefficients are raised to their powers. Stoichiometric coefficients are raised to their power. Now, if I am considering a reaction, X moles of A is reacting with Y moles of B to gives rise to products, then R is equal to, that is rate is equal to rate constant into concentration of A to the power of X into concentration of B to the power of Y. Because X and Y are the stoichiometric coefficients. Now, the question is, when I am taking X moles of A, which is reacting with Y moles of B to give rise to products, then R is equal to rate constant into A to the power of X into B to the power of Y. This equation, whatever equation I am writing here, based upon the law of mass action, this equation is called as a rate law. This is called as rate law. In some other context, they are using the word rate expression also. In some other context, they are also using the word rate equation. So this expression what I am writing on the board, this is called as a rate law or rate expression or rate equation. Now, here the X and Y whatever I am taking on in the equation, These here we are saying as stoichiometric coefficients. But always the reaction, that is the expressions that is raised to their powers, will not depend upon stoichiometric equation. They only depend upon experimental data. By taking the experimental data into consideration only, we can write the rate equation or rate law or rate expression. So here, this x and y may not be stoichiometric coefficient. This x and y can be changed when we are taking the experimental data into consideration. So the rate law or rate expression or rate equation is only determined by taking experimental data into consideration. We have to remember this point. This thing you will be not learning in your first year. In your first year, you will be learning only about law of mass action. And you will be learning about the equations. But here we are speaking about saying that rate law or rate expression or rate equation only depends upon experimental data. Sometimes due to this experimental data, both stoichiometric coefficient and experimental data says the same thing. Experimentally also maybe x and y same, stoichiometrically also. But sometimes these may change. That is, experimental data will say that the stoichiometric coefficients are not x and y. So automatically then the powers will be changed. Now, let us think that concentration of A is 1 mole per liter or 1 molar. Concentration of B is also equal to 1 mole per liter. So automatically A to the power of x will be 1, B to the power of y will be 1. So then R is equal to K. When concentrations of the reactants are unity or 1 unit, then rate of the reaction is equal to rate constant. Rate of the reaction is equal to rate constant. So rate constant is defined as the rate of the reaction when concentrations of the reactants are equal to 1 unit. Concentrations of the reactants are equal to 1 unit. That is rate constant. So to explain you that rate equation or rate expression or rate law depends upon experimental data, I am taking few equations and experimental data, and then I'll be explaining you how we are calculating, how we are taking the powers into consideration. That is, how we are taking this x and y from experimental data. That is the thing we are going to learn in the next this thing. For that, you need to note down a problem. Please note down this problem. The equation is given as 2NO, which is a gas, reacts with 2H2, which is also a gas, giving rise to N2, which is a gas, and 2H2O, which is also a gas. To this equation, they had given us experimental data. In that experiment, concentration of NO, concentration of hydrogen, rate of reaction. Experiment number 1. The concentration of NO is taken as 0.005 molar. Then concentration of hydrogen is taken as 0.002 molar. When the concentration of NO is 0.005 molar and concentration of hydrogen is 0.002 molar, the rate of the reaction is found to be 1.25 into 10 to the power of minus 5. 1.25 into 10 to the power of minus 5 moles per liter per second. Then, in the second experiment, the concentration of NO is 0.01 molar and the concentration of hydrogen is 0.002 molar. Then rate of the reaction is 5 into 10 to the power of minus 5. 5 into 10 to the power of minus 5 moles per liter per second. Third experiment. Concentration of NO is 0.005 molar. Concentration of hydrogen is 0.004 molar. Then the rate of the reaction is 2.5 into 10 to the power of minus 5 moles per liter per second. This is the data given to us, experimental data given to us. So by using this experimental data, we need to predict about the rate equation of this chemical reaction. How? Let us see here how to understand the experimental data. In the first experiment, when the concentration of NO is 0.005 molar and concentration of hydrogen is 0.002 molar, the rate of the reaction is 1.5 into 10 to the power of minus 5. Now, in the second experiment, what they had done? Concentration of hydrogen is kept constant. Concentration of hydrogen, they did not change anything. But concentration of NO is doubled. So 0.005 into 2, you will be getting 0.01. Am I right? So concentration of NO is doubled. When the concentration of NO is doubled, keeping concentration of hydrogen constant, the rate of the reaction is increased by 4 times. You can see here. When the concentration of NO is doubled, concentration of hydrogen is kept constant. You can observe that rate of the reaction is increased by 4 times. So, according to this step, we can say that when it is doubled, when the concentration of NO is doubled, rate is increasing by 4 times. Rate is increasing by 4 times. So automatically, when it is doubled, increase it by 4 times. That means to say that with respect to NO, the power will be 2. Why? Because when it is doubled, it is increased by 4 times. 4 by 2, 2. Now, see the third experiment. Concentration of NO. So we are relating with first experiment. Concentration of NO is kept constant now. But concentration of hydrogen is doubled. Concentration of hydrogen is doubled. Now what is observed? The rate of the reaction is also doubled. When the concentration of NO is kept constant and the concentration of hydrogen is doubled, we can observe that rate of the reaction is also doubled. Increases by 2 times, increases by 2 times. 2 by 2 equal to 1. So automatically, with respect to hydrogen, it is raised to its power as 1. But stoichiometric equation shows that R is equal to K into concentration of NO to the power of 2, concentration of H to the power of 2. Stoichiometrically. But experimentally, when we had observed, we can see that this is happening. So this is the rate expression, rate law or rate equation for this equation. So based upon the experimental data, we are finding this one. Not by the balanced chemical equation. Balanced chemical equation cannot give the rate law always. The rate law, rate expression or rate equation can be specified only by taking experimental data into consideration. Now take another example. To make you understand rate expression or rate equation or rate law, I am giving you one more example here. Here also experimental data is given to you. A plus B gives rise to products. A plus B gives rise to products. Here, the experiment, concentration of A, concentration of B, and rate. When the experiment, first experiment is done, concentration of A is taken as 0.1 molar. Then the concentration of B is also 0.1 molar. Then rate is observed as 1 into 10 to the power of minus 3. 1 into 10 to the power of minus 3 moles per liter per second. In the second experiment, concentration of A is doubled. Concentration of A is doubled by keeping concentration of B constant. Then it is observed that the rate of the reaction is not changing. In the same way, third experiment is done. Now the concentration of A is kept constant. Concentration of B is doubled. Now the rate of reaction is 2 into 10 to the power of minus 3 moles per liter per second. So here, in this experimental data, first experiment, concentration of A is taken as 0.1 molar. Concentration of B is taken as 0.1 molar. Then the rate of the reaction is 1 into 10 to the power of minus 3 moles per liter per second. Now in the second experiment, they kept the concentration of B as a constant. But the concentration of A is doubled. We observed that rate of the reaction is not changing. Rate of the reaction is not changing. That means what is observed here? Even though we are increasing the concentration, we are doubling the concentration of A, there is no change in the rate of the reaction. Means concentration, concentration of A is, sorry, or rate of the reaction is not depending upon the concentration of A. Or we can say that rate of the reaction is independent of concentration of A. That means to say that whether you are doubling, tripling, or increasing by 100 times also, there will be no change in the rate of reaction with respect to A. With respect to A, whether you are changing the concentration by any times, any number of times, the rate of the reaction remains the same. That means to say that rate of this reaction is independent of concentration of A. Independent of concentration of A. So when it is said that this reaction is independent of, or this rate of reaction is independent of concentration of A, then rate R is equal to rate constant into concentration of A to the power of 0. Because why we are taking here 0? Because rate of the reaction is independent of concentration of A. Now, in the third experiment, concentration of A is kept a constant, but concentration of B is doubled. You can observe that the rate of the reaction is also doubled. Rate of the reaction is also doubled. That means by doubling the concentration of B, rate of the reaction is also doubled. 2 by 2 equal to 1. That means with respect to B, the power is raised as 1. Because when the concentration of B is doubled, you can observe that rate of the reaction is also doubled. Stoichiometric equation must be is given here as A plus B gives rise to products. That means here stoichiometric equation is not depending upon the experimental data. So both are different. Experimentally, it is proving that concentration of A is not affecting the rate of reaction. Concentration of A is not affecting the rate of reaction. That is why we are taking to the power of 0. That means R is equal to K into concentration of B to the power of 1. Because anything to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Another equation and experimental data are given. So another chemical equation is given. 2NO plus O2 gives rise to 2NO2. Here also experiment, concentration of NO, concentration of O2, rate are given. In the first experiment, concentration of NO is 0.3 molar. Concentration of oxygen is also given as 0.3 molar. Rate of the reaction is 0.096 moles per liter per second. 0.096 moles per liter per second. In the second experiment, concentration of NO is given as 0.6 molar. Concentration of oxygen is kept as 0.3 molar only. Then the rate of the reaction is 0.384. 0.384 moles per liter per second. In the third experiment, concentration of NO is 0.3 molar. Concentration of oxygen is 0.6 molar. Rate of the reaction is 0.192 moles per liter per second. So here you can clearly see the experimental data. You can see the experimental data. When the concentration of NO is 0.3 molar, concentration of O2 is 0.3 molar, the rate of the reaction is 0.096 moles per liter per second. Now the concentration of NO is doubled from 0.3 to 0.6, it is doubled. But the concentration of O2 is kept a constant. Then it is observed that rate of the reaction is 0.384 moles per liter per second. So if you divide this 0.384 with 0.096, you will be getting 4. That means to say that when the concentration of NO is doubled, rate of the reaction is increased by 4 times. Rate of the reaction is increased by 4 times. When the concentration of NO is doubled, we can see that the rate of the reaction is increasing by 4 times. The rate of the reaction is increasing by 4 times. At the same time, when the concentration of NO is kept constant and the concentration of O2 is doubled, you can see that the rate of the reaction is 0.192. That means to say that a double of this one. That means when the concentration of O2 is doubled, rate of the reaction is also doubled. So, with respect to NO, when the concentration is doubled, rate is increased by 4 times. With respect to oxygen, when the concentration is increased or concentration is doubled, rate is increased by 2 times. That is to say that doubled. So, R is equal to K into concentration of NO to the power of 2, because doubled increased by 4 times. 4 by 2, it is 2. Into oxygen to the power of 1, because when it is doubled, it is also doubled. 2 by 2 equal to 1. See here, the stoichiometric equation and the experimental data, both are giving the same thing. But in the previous 2 cases, we had seen that stoichiometric equation is different and the rate expression is different here. The powers are different, what we can say. So, like this, depending upon the experimental data, we can find out the rate equation or a rate expression. Rate equation or rate expression. You can see the equations what we had done and how we had calculated, how we had taken the rate equations into consideration. So other than this, I'm giving you 2 more examples here which shows the rate equation. So the first 3 equations we had seen we had calculated this, their rate equations by taking the experimental data into consideration. 4th and 5th examples are based upon experimental data which are pre-calculated, that's it. So in the 4th equation, you can see when CHCl3 is reacting with a chlorine, which is producing carbon tetrachloride, CCl4 and HCl, their rate equation is given as R is equal to K into concentration of CHCl3 into concentration of Cl2 to the power of half. What does it mean? That means to say that in the experimental data, when the concentration of chlorine is doubled, it is observed that rate of the reaction is increased by root 2 times. Rate of the reaction is increased by root 2 times. That is why the power is coming as half. In the same way, in the fifth equation, that is CH3COO C2H5 plus H2O gives rise to CH3COOH plus C2H5OH. Rate is equal to rate constant K into concentration of CH3COO C2H5 to the power of 1 into concentration of H2O to the power of 0. That means to say that when in this reaction, rate of the reaction is independent of concentration of water. That is to say that rate of the reaction is not depending upon the concentration of water. That is why it is coming as 0. Now, let us learn about another term, a new term for you, which is coming in your second year. That is called as order. O-R-D-E-R, order. Order is defined as it is the sum of powers of concentration terms in an experimentally determined rate equation. It is the sum of powers of concentration terms, sum of powers of concentration terms in an experimentally determined rate equation. In an experimentally determined rate equation, sum of powers of concentration terms in an experimentally determined rate equation is called as order of the reaction. So you know that this is experimentally determined rate equation. So order will be equal to 2 plus 1 equal to 3. This will be a third order reaction. So once again I am repeating the definition for order of the reaction. Order of the reaction means it is the sum of powers of concentration terms in an experimentally determined rate equation. So for example, if I am taking a reaction, if the rate equation is given as R is equal to K into concentration of NO to the power of 2 into concentration of H2 to the power of 1. So automatically 2 plus 1 equal to 3. R is equal to K into concentration of A to the power of 2, concentration of B to the power of 0. Then the order is 2 plus 0, 2. R is equal to K into concentration of CHCl3 to the power of 1 into concentration of Cl2 to the power of half. Then the order of the reaction is 1 plus half. How much? It is equal to 3 by 2. So there the order of the reaction is 3 by 2. R is equal to K into concentration of CH3COO C2H5 to the power of 1 into concentration of H2O to the power of 0. That means 1 plus 0 is equal to 1. It is a first order reaction. So like this, if you observe, order of the reaction means it is only known by the experimental data. It cannot be determined by taking the balanced chemical equation into consideration. It only depends upon the experimental data. From experimental data, we are going to calculate the rate equation. From rate equation, we are going to calculate the order of the reaction. So once again, order of the reaction means it is the sum of powers of concentration terms in an experimentally determined rate equation. Experimentally determined rate equation. So previously we had seen the examples and we had seen the rate equations. In the first equation, rate equation is R is equal to K into concentration of NO to the power of 2 into H2 to the power of 1. That means order of the reaction will be 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. Second equation, 0 and 1. So powers are 0 and 1. So automatically rate of the reaction, order of the reaction is 0 plus 1 is equal to first order. The third equation, powers are 2 and 1. So automatically order of the reaction is 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. In the fourth example, the powers are 1 and half. That means 1 plus half is equal to 3 by 2 will be the order of the reaction. In the fifth equation, the powers are 1 and 0. So automatically 1 plus 0, you will be getting 1. That is order of the reaction is the first order. So like this, you can see that order of the reaction can be calculated. Now, so here you can calculate. So I'm giving you another question here to calculate the order of the reaction. You can see on the screen. They had given calculate the overall order of the reaction which has the rate expression. Rate R is equal to K into concentration of A to the power of half and B to the power of 3 by 2. This is one equation they had given. Another equation they had given as R is equal to K into concentration of A to the power of 3 by 2 into B to the power of minus 1. And they are asking us to calculate the order of the reaction, overall order of the reaction. So how to understand this rate expression once you understand what I am saying? Here the rate expression or rate equation says that R is equal to K. K is the rate constant. Concentration of A to the power of half. So here half and 3 by 2 are the powers. How they are coming? By taking the experimental data into consideration. Now, with respect to A, order of the reaction is half. With respect to B, order of the reaction is 3 by 2. In this equation, with respect to A, concentration of power is 3 by 2 means order of the reaction with respect to A is 3 by 2. Order of the reaction with respect to B is minus 1. That means order of the reaction can be 0. Order of the reaction can be a 1, 2, 3. Order of the reaction can be a fractional value, and even order of the reaction can be a negative value. So order of the reaction can be a 0. Order of the reaction can be 1, 2, 3. Order of the reaction can be a fractional value, and order of the reaction can also be a negative value. So overall order means N. Here order means N. N is equal to N1 plus N2 or Na plus Nb. What is N here? Overall order of the reaction. Na means order with respect to A. Nb means order with respect to B. That means to say that half plus 3 by 2, which is equal to 4 by 2, which is equal to 2. That means the overall order of the reaction is second order. Overall order of the reaction is second order. In the same way, here also, order N equal to Na plus Nb, that equal to 3 by 2 plus minus 1, 3 by 2 minus 1. So here the order of the reaction is half order, 1 by 2 order. So by taking the rate equation, by adding the powers, we will be getting the order of the reaction. So order of the reaction is once again defined as sum of powers of concentration terms in an experimentally determined rate equation. Sum of powers of concentration terms in an experimentally determined rate equation. That is called as order of the reaction. Now, let us consider a rate equation. R is equal to K into concentration of A to the power of X into concentration of B to the power of Y. Here, order with respect to A is X, order with respect to Y is B is Y. So, automatically overall order of the reaction will be equal to X plus Y. Now, here I am taking K, that is a rate constant, as the subject, equal to R, that is rate of the reaction, by A to the power of X into B to the power of Y. Now I am taking the dimensions of these things. What are the dimensions? That is dimensions of rate constant. So K is equal to R means a concentration, that is moles per, R means rate of the reaction, that is moles per liter per second, that is time. Moles per liter is the concentration by time. By here, what about A? It is moles per liter. Moles per liter to the power of X. Into moles per liter to the power of Y. So here, this is a concentration by time, this is concentration, and this is concentration to the power of Y, X and Y. So powers are X and Y. Now, when we are taking the moles, so when we are taking the dimension of this one, moles per liter to the power of -1, time to the power of -1, you will be getting, which is based upon X and Y. X and Y are nothing but together we will be taking it as K is equal to concentration by concentration to the power of N together by time. So we will be taking it as concentration to the power of 1 minus N into time to the power of -1. That means to say that when we are here, N is the order of the reaction. So to calculate the units of rate constant based upon the order of the reaction, we will be using this formula. This formula is used in order to find out the units of rate constant with reference to order of the reaction. With reference to order of the reaction. So today I am stopping it here. Let us continue in the next class.